What's up, y'all? This is part 3 of me tanning this bear hide and kind of explaining what I'm doing as I go through the processes. But so far, we fleshed the hide, we salted the hide, we made a degreaser for the hide, we cleaned it off, and we made a pickle for the hide, and it's been sitting in there for 2 days. So now we're going to take the hide out and we're going to thin it down. We're going to get all of the remaining fat that's on there off of there. We're going to find some membrane that's remaining. We're going to get that off of there. We're going to thin some areas down, and we're overall going to smooth the whole backside of the hide out. We're really going to touch it up and get it cleaned up, and I'm going to show you how I do that. All right, so thank y'all for watching. If you ain't checked out part 1 and part 2, man, you want to know how to tan a bear hide, check them out. You know, this is a series on me tanning a bear hide. I'm showing y'all what I do step by step. So let's go. Y'all, there's our bear hide. I pulled it out of the pickle and have allowed it to sit out here and dry all day with the first side up. That's real important. You don't ever want to thaw it out with the flesh side up, because it'll cause its outside to dry too fast and these thin areas to dry way too fast, and it'll make these hard spots. This direct sunlight on the flesh side of hides is not a good thing. So let's take it inside, and I'm going to show you how we clean it up and do the final finishing touches on the fleshing. All right, y'all. Our bear hide is, you know, it's more dry in other areas than some, so that's what the discoloration is. But I'm here to tell you right now, if you skip this step, you're going to end up leaving a lot of grease on your bear hide, because all that right there, you see how that's shiny? It looks like it could be water. I can feel it, and that is grease right there. That is from, like, there's fat right there. Just a little bit, not much. You know, overall, not much. We did a good job. Right there, that's a little bit of fat right there. And so this is why this part of the process is very, very important, because you can tan it just like this, you know, and you're going to have these little pieces of grease that are still on your hide, and then you're going to have a stinky bear hide. So let's get up close and personal with this bear, and I'll show you how I go about removing all this. All right, what's up, y'all? All right, so if you've had your bear hide in the pickle for a couple days, then the next step is pulling it out and hanging it up, allowing it to drain of excess moisture. And then what you want to do is try to lay it out over a flat surface. Get the hair dry first, and then we want to get the skin dry. So flip it over, however you got it. Get that skin dry. You want to get that hair dry first, because it skin acts as a wick to that hair. And if you just flip it over with the hair wet and try to dry the skin, that skin's just going to soak up the moisture from that hair. It's not a very effective way to do that. So I wasn't able to get this part on video, but I'm going to sit here and show you what I have, and explain to you what it is that I do in this next process. So you've had your bear hide in the pickle for 2 days, and you're going to pull it out, like I said, drain it, get the skin not all the way dry, like by any means at all. It's still moist, but just not sopping wet anymore, okay? And so, now the goal is going to be to get off any excess grease, fat, membrane, to thin any spots down, okay? And so what I use in order to do that is just an angle grinder, all right? And I want you to get close here. You see this disc right here? This is just shingled sandpaper. This is 36 grit. I've used it a lot, but as you can see, it gets crap off, all right? It's very effective. So I use this angle grinder right here in order to finish these hides up. It's just the final touch-up, man. I like to get down there close and personal and work this thing, just the edge of that dude like that right there, and just go all over that hide, all right? And okay, so what ended up happening on this particular bear hide, and most bear hides that you're going to encounter, is that there is a crap ton of grease still on that thing, and it didn't look like it. If you remember back in the first video, part 1, whenever I was fleshing it, it looked clean. There was some little spots, but man, once you start letting that thing dry up a little bit, it'll show these dark brown spots. That's all grease, you know, and it's got to go. So I use this to get it off. Now the downside of using this is that there's going to be grease slung out all over the freaking place. And so what you want to do is degrease that thing again. So what I did was I set it up on my rack and I sprayed it real hard. Just spray off as much grease as a water hose can get off. And then I took that Dawn dish soap and some salt, threw it in a barrel, and let that hide soak in there and agitated it like every 10-15 minutes, you know, for an hour. Then I took it out, put it back on the rack, thoroughly washed that soap out. And with washing that soap out, you're getting all that broken down grease, all right? So at that point, your bear hide should be free of all grease. Thoroughly wash the flesh side and the hair side. After that, I put it back in the pickle bath. All right, I let it drain. All right, I washed all the soap out, and then I let it drain the excess moisture, because I don't want to introduce any new moisture, or really anything that might have that soap in the pickle, just because I don't want the pH to fluctuate. I don't want to have to use any more pickling acid than I absolutely need to. So put it back in the pickle for a couple days, and man, so now with using this, all right, using this angle grinder and washing it, degreasing it, washing it again, putting it back into the pickle. Now we're ready. Now we're ready to really start thinking about how we're going to pan this thing. Okay, so man, we're almost there. So sorry I didn't get that on video. I do apologize, but from what you've seen in part one and part two, this right here is just piggybacking off of some of those same steps that we've already done. The only difference is using this angle grinder and just lightly hitting that thing. I mean, you ain't trying to just hit it flat on the hide. You just want to take, let me try to show you. Yeah, you just want to take that corner of that thing and just work it all across that hide. And on the thin areas, you just want it to be real easy, just lightly touch it. You know, and on the thick areas, like around the neck and stuff, I mean, you can kind of get aggressive and thin that area down with this. This right here is a good tool. So you can flesh a hide out with this thing. You know, if you can tack a hide down on a board or something like that, you can use this and flesh the entire thing. It's a mess, but boy, if you want to do it bad enough, I reckon you can do it. But anyway, guys, this is the end of part 3 right here. Sorry I didn't get that on video, man. I've been real busy with hides and stuff, and I just had to knock it out real quick. But I figured I'd at least explain what's going on. Hide out of the degreasing bath, and I have washed it off thoroughly. I'm talking really took my time on this and got it as clean as possible, because that's it. That's the last time it's gonna get cleaned. So it's been degreased quite a bit, and that should be good. And so what we're gonna do now is allow this thing to drain. I want like all of the excess water to come up off of it, because we're gonna have it in, we're gonna put it back in the pickle, and we wanna make sure that we don't have any soap on it. We wanna make sure that there's no excess water on it. Anything that's gonna change the pH of that pickle, we would just wanna make sure that that's not present when we place it back into the pickle. So we're gonna let this thing drain. And normally I leave my hides in the pickle for 3 days. I'm gonna leave this one in here for 2 more days, okay? And then after that, we'll tan it, okay? So 2 more days, part 4 of tanning the bear hide will come up, and that's gonna consist of tanning the hide, okay? So real easy process, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe if you already hadn't. If you have, thank you very much for doing so. All right, y'all. Stay tuned for part 4 on tanning the bear hide.